everything that's in the fuel side of the valves, stems, the valve seats, the pistons, the rings, everything that's in the fuel side of the engine. If you look at the smoke coming off behind the back of the boat. Dipstick hole. Now what this pump does is it just pulls it out. You can see the oil going through the hose. The next phase in our process is to pull the oil filter off. Sometimes homemade tools are the best. I just take a gallon antifreeze jug and cut it thin so that I can lay that right directly under the oil filter into the bilge of the boat.
In order to keep it clean.
Yeah, you don't want to dump oil into the bilge, because then when you turn on your bilge pump, it pumps it into the water, it dumps it onto the ground if you just pull the drain plug. This way we're capturing 99% of the oil, and what we can't capture with this, we can wipe up with a paper towel.
Very good.
Now that we've got all the oil out and the old oil filter off, I want to put the new filter on, and you just put a very light thin film of oil around the gasket. It prevents the oil filter from sticking to the block. You just spin it right on where the old one came off. Just take it in until it touches the block, take it another quarter of a turn, and we can start putting the rest of it back together. We'll put the flame arrestor back on, and the next step here is draining the water out of the block. The manufacturer of the engine has provided us with drain hoses that are right here on the top of the block. And on this one, it's just a matter of, you see the water coming out there already?
Yes.
It's just a matter of removing the hose and just holding it down into the bilge for both the exhaust manifold and for the block. You want to make sure that you get water out of both areas. And that's all there is to that. Usually you have to take it apart. There's usually drain plugs in it, but like I said, this one is very simple. The manufacturer made it easy on the customer to winterize it if they were to do it themselves.
Very nice.
Okay, Jim, we finished up on the engine in this boat. Now we're going to go to the lower unit, I guess this would be out here.
Uh-huh.
And you're going to drain the oil from the lower unit?
Yeah, we've already drained the oil out. You've got the oil level, you've got the drain down here. I've already connected my pump to it. It's imperative that you fill these things properly. If you don't fill them from the designed fill location, you'll pocket air in it and waste the upper gear case as soon as you start it up in the spring. This particular drive, you fill from the bottom until the oil comes out the top, so you do need to pump it in.
And this oil will protect what, the gears of the motor?
Correct. This is an annual event. You change the gear oil once a season, and like I mentioned before, if you do all your maintenance in the fall, even if you have to throw this oil away because you've got a problem with it, right now what I'm doing is I'm coating all of the components all the way up to the top with fresh oil. So if there was any water in there, the water would be dispersed, the bearings, the gears, and everything would be preserved. All we would have to do if we would have had water in here is replace the seals.
Now with an outboard being, that's what I have, the fill and drain oil is the same hole.
Correct, and as well as on this one.
Okay.
Now there are a few units out there that you fill from a designated fill hole. These you fill from the drain hole.
Now I've pulled my oil out, usually, I do it every fall, like you said, like you're doing here, and then you do notice some coatings of shavings or something from your gear. What does that cause from? Is there
just wear?
Just wear of the motor.
You'll get very light shavings on the lower magnetic plugs on those engines that are equipped with it. Any more than what you can rub between two fingers is abnormal, and you should have it checked.
Okay.
Jim, I noticed on this...
See how we've got oil coming out here now? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but right now we're full. We've got oil coming out the top, so we know that we've filled from the bottom to the top. You just simply put the plug back in, wipe up the mess,
cinch it down.
We'll lose a little bit at the bottom, but not a lot. You just have to do it quick.
So just as easy as that, you can do your own, lower gear lube here then on your motor.
That's quick and painless.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jim, what I was starting to say is I noticed there's zebra mussels coated all over.
Yeah, there's zebra mussels.
Of this. Does that mean this thing was on Lake Erie, or are these things making?
No, we've got zebra mussels inland now, and they're a problem. The zebra mussels, as you can see, they attach themselves to any place that doesn't have any paint on it. They also, as eggs, they get into your cooling system and they can grow inside your cooling system and actually overheat your engine.
Holy cow!
Now, if you feel the edge of that, they're little clams.
Yeah. And
they're sharp enough that if the shells get into the water pump, they can actually devastate the impeller as well.
Oh,
it's almost as bad as running without water.
Any tips on keeping them off of your lower unit, or?
There's commercial waxes available that are anti-fouling as well as zebra mussel repelling waxes. They are partially effective. The best thing that you can do is regularly pull the boat and keep them clean.
Keep them clean.
Yeah, there's really nothing you can do.
By just having this out of the water, they dry up and then they perish, and then you can clean them off. And what do you use, a pressure washer or something?
After about 36 hours, then you can pressure wash them off.
If you try to flick them off, it seems like.
Yeah. If you try to do it while they're still living, they attach themselves, and they're very difficult to get off. You actually have to scrape them with a putty knife or something.
Wow. Okay, well, we're ready for
what? Done.
Yep, phase 2 done.
This Outdoor Icon Show factoid is brought to you by First Metropolitan Mortgage. Stay tuned, the Outdoor Icon will be right back.
This Outdoor Icon Tip of the Week is brought to you by CW Wholesale Molding and Millwork Outlet. Well, Jim, what do we do with our batteries when we go to store our boats for the winter?
Well, the best thing to do is make sure that it's fully charged after you pull it out, and just keep it stored in a dry, warm place, and put a trickle on it every other month throughout the winter, and you'll have a nice fresh battery when you go to put it back in the spring.
Is there truth to putting it on wood rather than right on concrete?
It's a wives' tale that used to be the case when you had tar cases, but with plastic cases it won't discharge sitting on concrete.
Now, how often do you got to add distilled water to the battery?
When it's low, and it's just typically, most of the batteries today are low maintenance or maintenance free, and you really never have to add them. I mean, the caps come off, you can visually look at it, but there again, it's because of the plastic case versus the old tar cases. They don't leak.
Okay.
And the difference between a marine battery and a regular battery, for the most part, is going to be this can take a charge over and over and over and over again?
Well, they're designed for long periods of idleness, and they're designed to be fully discharged and then recharged, where the battery in your vehicle takes the surface charge to start it, and you're putting a charge right back in it. You're not draining the battery completely, and a deep cycle marine battery is designed to take that full cycle.
So if a guy wants to just use his car battery out there to run his trolling motor or to run his outboard engine to get things started, he's not going to last very long with it, will he?
Not with the trolling motor.
Okay, good. Well, that's your Outdoor Icon Tip of the Week. Bring that battery out of your boat inside to keep it, the life of it, to last till spring.
Just throw it on a trickle charge every 90 days and you'll be good to go.
Very good. That's brought to you by CW Wholesale Molding and Millwork Outlet.